Okay, so this is just a quick video that I'm doing just to introduce an article that I'd put up on my website. And so if you want to just have a look at it, you just go to articles, and at the moment it's at the top, but it might, if I put any more articles up, then it'll move down a bit. So if you just click on it, and as you can see, I've titled it, "You've Got to Love Humans, or Why God Has to Destroy This Earth." Because this is something that, some people, might not understand about the Bible, because they, when they hear a lot of Christians say about, God is love, X, Y, Z, a lot of Christians like to go with that. But then when people then ask, what about hell? What about people dying? Then they say, the Christians will then add the bit about God's justice as well. But the thing that, it's as if no one's really interested in, not even people in the church. And that is, why is it that God ended up drowning everyone in the flood? Because if those were a load of nice people, then you'd have to say God was unjust to do that. But the way I see things, what is really happening is people are not examining themselves enough. And so these were some questions that I found on a place called, Stack Exchange, where people ask loads of questions and get lots of answers. So let's just get into this. So the first one here is, as you see, the title of it, and you can see the link is up there if you want to look at it, is "My Own Party Are Ruining the Game for Me. What should I do?" So now let's see what happens. It says, that's Dungeons and Dragons. Oh yeah, RPG means role-playing game. And it says, "I play a ranger who lost an eye in battle, therefore having a disadvantage. Me and my party of 6 friends went inside a tavern to rest. Just before we went on our main quest together, in the tavern we decided to have a few drinks. My character blacked out. Most players in the party decided to steal from me, taking a valuable egg which I earned and all of my gold. I understand this part of the game, but when there are 4 dice rolls against my 1, then what can I do? It just isn't fun. What is the point of playing? I tried to ask what happened in the following morning, but the other players just tipped off the bartender. It is complete metagaming. I could try and get revenge by killing the players in a stealth manner, but if this is just going to keep happening, I may as well just leave in-game. What could I do if most people are just going to keep on stealing what I earn and making the game not fun to play?" So notice the interesting thing here is they'll tell you that the people who do stealing are the people in jail. But notice, these aren't talking about people in jail. And obviously, this isn't, if it was real life and someone had passed out, and then 6 people went, and well, I think it's 5 because it says 4 dice rolls, so I'm not sure why it says 6 friends. If this was real life and he passed out and 4 people stole all his stuff, then he goes to the police and then they get those guys arrested. But notice, this is a fantasy game. And so this is, when you're in a fantasy game, this is where the proper evil comes out. Because even though you've got people in jail, there's a whole heap of people out there in the world who are not in jail, who are still a bunch of thieves anyway. And this is what people don't understand. And the thing I like about these role-playing games is these role-playing games bring out the proper evil in humans, effectively. That's why I say you got to love humans. Now you might think, okay, so these 6 guys, they robbed this one guy. Yeah, I mean, that's bad. Now, admittedly, some of these other ones, but let's just keep going, because the thing about it is each of these ones, something different happened. And you just have to try and look at it to understand what the evil is. So let's go to the next one. So this is player already planning on holding the party hostage next campaign. Right, okay. And so this one's a bit long. Well, it's not that long, so let's go through. We had a new player join us mid-campaign. He was an eccentric character. And he joined a group of we were already at odds with each other and throwing flack at each other in jest. Now, of course, you can do it in jest, but there's still evil there, that's the thing. Now the three of us started bickering, yes, that's what evil people start doing. But what we didn't notice is the player of Dragon was getting really upset. Either we missed it or just, but after 2 months he decided he wanted to quit. So they decided to talk to him and said that we would no longer poke fun at his character in character or out of character. Notice it says out of character. What that means is they're bringing it into real life, which is bad. And this is something which can happen with people who play too much games. It becomes too much like reality for them. So let's see. We all feel like there is an awkward. Is this awkward? That we said, yeah. So now they have to be careful around him. And so we're playing our next. Everything he talks about is how he's going to create a character that won't take flack from no one. Now, the first time someone makes him upset, he's going to attack them. So, see what we got here now. They were, obviously making fun of him or whatever, and because it's a game, they think it doesn't matter. But you see, he's a human. So regardless of the fact it's a game, it's still going to affect him, even though it's just a computer character. So now, he now wants to get revenge. And it says, alright, it says that isn't a good idea, but the dude just wants a meta game. Right, so this DM is a dungeon master, is the one who controls. You can look it up, just do a search for a dungeon master in role-playing games, and you'll understand what the DM is. And so he's saying that it's up to the party to handle things. And my issue is that I will do. Alright, yeah, so this is the dungeon master explaining that he'll do whatever the guy wants because he's an advisor. Let me see. It's up to you guys. Yeah, it's not my place to tell him. So he's just trying to step back and let them deal with it. So let's see what the end is. So we want him to join us in the next campaign because he's a good friend. Funny, isn't it? He's a good friend, but they were poking fun at him? Really? No. If someone's a good friend, you don't poke fun at them. That's 100%. So they say he's a good friend, but let's see what they were doing. We decided to, you're right. And said we would no longer poke any fun at his character. And he's a good friend. Said, well, no. See, this is a problem. They're saying he's a good friend, but they're not treating him like one. But it feels like no one is really looking forward to the next campaign anymore. Yeah, because you poke fun at him. I personally don't want to risk this campaign ending a couple of sessions in, right after starting. If we let him do what he wants to his heart's content, fighting back will probably cause him to threaten to quit again, and kicking him out will cause strain on our friendships, as you see. They got a friendship in the world where if there was no game, everything would be fine. Now they've gone and jumped into a fantasy world, and now they're in trouble. It's typical, isn't it? And so the end result is player is upset that his character was made fun of last campaign. Yeah, because he's supposed to be a friend, but you didn't treat him like one. We stopped doing so. He's still planning on metagaming and starting player versus player, I think that means, in a new campaign. If anything doesn't go his way, what can we do to reduce this? So they're just asking this question. But you see what happened though. He's supposed to be a friend. They poked fun at him, which is not what you do to a friend. But they think because it's a game, you can get away with it. And the answer was no, you can't. Even in a game, it's like real life. You don't poke fun at people in real life. You just don't do it in a game either. Let's go to the next one. Alright, so this is to do with a player who doesn't understand party roles. So, if a player is playing, doesn't understand his character can't solve, yeah, so this guy is trying to do too much, I think. So, let's get to, every time the party, almost immediately fails, yeah, I think this guy is just trying to be better than he is. But I just want to get to the main bit. Yeah, so they're just saying this guy is trying to act above his skill level. So let's see what the end result is. It says, when told why his behavior is a problem, he shrugs and acts like he understands, but then continues this pattern at the next opportunity as if he's completely forgotten or deliberately disregarded the conversation. When asked why he keeps making these choices, he says something like, it's what I want to do. Now, where have you heard that before? this almost sounds like the answer that Satan would give to God for why is he doing what he's doing. And what do you think Satan would say? It's what I want to do. And there's a whole heap of humans who are like this as well, and I've seen it, even when I've been at Speaker's Corner. And this is a huge problem in the world. It's what I want to do. I mean, this is responsible for a whole heap of mess in this world, because people, because they have the opportunity to do something, and even though the thing they're doing might cause a problem, they don't care because it's what they want to do. So anyway, let's keep going. Then he gives them a blank stare or insists that he can be a jack of all trades. Does anyone have any experience dealing with a player like this, or have any solutions to effectively teach him how either his class or the game as a whole should be tactically approached? So what it is, so this is your standard classic, sort of arrogant human where he just thinks he can do whatever. And the thing about it is, because the other players are obviously there and they know how to play, they can actually cover for him. So he thinks that they're effectively like they're his slaves. And of course they're getting annoyed at that. So this is a pretty tame one. So let's keep going, because this is a bit long, but there are some good ones here. So let's see. So this one's, how can I as a dungeon master deal with an attention grabbing player in a group who can't speak up? So yeah, let's check this one out. So he's running the campaign. Let's see what's happening. Right, so we had trouble with one of the players. He eats up almost all of the attention by simply talking everyone else down. As long as he's down. Yeah, so what this is just someone who's a babbler, and and the big problem is that he babbles and people listen, so he thinks he's important because people are listening to him. And you notice what it says here, he jumps in and talks. Yeah, I've seen that before loads of times. And whenever someone else says something, even just a small, hey, we could do that, he goes right to, I wasn't finished. Yes, I've had that plenty of times at Speaker's Corner, where someone will be babbling along, and you try just to get one word in, and they say, no, I haven't, and you think, well, you don't need to speak 1,000 words. We've all got brains. You can just say a few words and we'll understand. So let's see what happens. At the start, I thought I could do, I simply stepped in. So he's trying to be fair to let the others speak. And as I read him, right, and you see, when the Dungeon Master stepped in, trying to let other people talk, guess what happened? He got depressed. See, that's typical. He got depressed for being shut down. Even though he's been speaking. So he essentially wants to talk to an audience. And I can tell you what my solution is, but let's see what they say. The other players take pity on him, and of course they just let him talk forever. And see, he says this leads to everyone shutting up for 90% of the game. So let's see what's... So now the Dungeon Master is saying he's out of ideas. He says, I don't want to kick him. He says, me kicking him would, I fear, lead to even more pity for him. Because he's good at crying, yes. People who can babble, they are good at crying. I feel like everyone is too polite to help me deal with this in any confrontational manner. And so he's trying to get the other players to be a bit more, have a bit more backbone. But it looks like they're not. And essentially this babbler is just going to overrule them. So that's what he's essentially asking at Stack Exchange is it Stack Exchange? Yeah, I think it is, yeah. He wants people he's asking to know how can he control this babbler, since the people in the game can't control him, and if they try, he starts crying. So, well, my answer to him is that, from what I've experienced of babblers, just get rid of him. It's as simple as that. If you don't, you're just going to end up in a complete mess. So let's go to the next one. How to deal with a player in a large forum game who constantly fights in game and out of character. Yeah, that's not good. So let's see what this problem you got here. This is a long one as well. So this one is Pathfinder game. I'm playing Ranger. All 8 players again. Official. Right. So they have a rule that they can't fight each other. When I disagreed with his character, he almost beat mine to death and insulted me out of character. I think out of character means when this is in real life. So he was warned by I think GM is Game Master rather than Dungeon Master. I think they might, well, I don't know. Who saved my character? I couldn't defend myself at the time. So he no longer has the right to talk to us out of character. And I think that's when you talk in the chat rather than in the actual game. Or no, maybe offline. I'm not sure. Right, and see, so in retaliation for him not being allowed to talk to them and also to beat them up, he became more annoying in game. Right, so you see, he doesn't care about our role playing and plays on his own. See, again, just like the one on further up, he wants to do his own thing. And this is a classic problem in this world where loads of people just want to do their own thing and think that somehow they can get along like that. And see, it can lead to really incoherent situations, which does happen in real life. Because if you're in a real life situation and someone wants to do their own thing when it's a danger, then yeah, you put the rest of the people in danger, which is bad. Right, so I suggested a plan to say he called me and he disagreed and proposed the exact same plan. So let's see, deal with this. I can't kill his player character as the campaign rules just mean he'll re-roll a character. He's in the campaign until the GM, Game Master probably, who kicks him out. So they try to be friendly with and nice with the guy, but of course the guy just ignores that. Yes, that happens in real life. That's how people are. Alright, so they can't insult each other. So I think they should destroy this game, man, because if you're having this trouble with this guy and they feel like insulting each other, then this game is just rubbish. But we can, alright, these rules apply to the campaign, but we can be as merciless as we want in character as long as he's not meta. I can't kill his character only because I don't appreciate him as a player. So notice what he's saying. I can't kill his character. See, some of these guys, it is like they're proper murderers, but yet they can't kill in real life because they end up in jail. So what do they do instead? They want to kill people in games instead. And this is the thing, man. Why these games, you have to be careful about them. The stuff that it puts into people's heads. Alright, so they're trying to work out what can we do with him without killing him in game. See, killing again. They want to murder this guy. It's amazing. Or go crying to the GM. Yeah, because he has to stay impartial. So let's see what the end. So sometimes there's not much we can do. The person became toxic enough for all the players to report him, who issued a warning. And he kept his toxicity in game. So we just all ended up killing his character. It wasn't rewarding or relieving. It was a sad, bitter execution in the cellar. It's not fun to play with such a person. It's not fun kicking him out. But if you're not willing to play with the group, then you have nothing to do at the table. After this execution, we moved on with our in-character and out-of-character lives. We, the players, made clear he wasn't welcome at the table with such a behavior, and we would murder his new character. That's amazing, isn't it? Without a second thought, if the need arises. As the GM wanted to stay neutral, he couldn't forbid him to play. But we didn't allow the problem to remain. Eventually, he cursed at us and refused to re-roll. So we went on amazing ventures with a troll down after you'd murdered him. Yeah, amazing. See, this is classic. What does it remind me of? That when Hitler wanted to get rid of all of the people who were like sick and, mentally ill. Because, yeah, you get rid of them. Once you get rid of them, you can now go on amazing adventures with all the people with the, who you think are wonderful. And this is what people don't understand, is that when you have these situations, yeah, so they ended up having to murder him, as they say. I mean, it's their words. And this was in game. So if they were in the same situation in real life where he was really annoying, what would they do to him? And would he disappear and you can't find his body? See, this is the thing you have to be careful of. These people are murdering someone in a game. What would they do in real life? You just don't know. Well, maybe some people would. Let's go to this next one. It's, should I stop player characters looting from their dead friends? Dead last player character. So that's what happened at the top. So a character in a Dungeons & Dragons game dies and stays dead. He had some nice items. What reasons could I give for the rest of the party not to pillage their corpse other than honor? I've had imagine... yeah, his English is a bit bad there. I don't know that the players... Yeah, the first... So he's trying to fix a problem of, people looting a dead character. And... yeah, but the thing about it is they're going to do it. Why? Because in real life it's the same. These are the same evil people in this game. So the fact that they're looting someone in a game, yeah, they do it in real life. I mean, forget it, man. So he wants to try to not allow it. But I can see this becoming unsporting if they decide not to revive their former companion, when they surely could, because the character X got the shiny thing they wanted from a previous encounter. So notice what he's saying is that they're playing along. They've got a character who was a companion, but because they wanted something, Bible says thou shalt not covet, but this is a game. So they coveted an item that he wanted. And then when the character dies, guess what? They throw away God's commandments and just grab it. Because they want to covet it. They know they do. And so, but this guy's trying to stop it, but God put thou shalt not covet at the end for a reason. Because he knows what humans are like. And so let's see what he says. The second also makes a sort of in-game sense to me. If a party member is dead and no longer needs a shiny thing, why not let your new friend use it? Well, it's not a friend because you're dead. Dead people don't have friends. Trouble is, this can lead to further squabbles. Yes, of course it can, because you're dealing with humans here. I don't know what these, squabbles, yeah, that's normal. Of who gets what, or longer surviving members hoarding and dominating the game. Sort of related to this question, player wants to steal items from previous characters. Just let the guy do it. He's a human. He's evil. Just let him steal. That's what he wants to do. I mean, what else can you do? But said previous character died in glorious battle rather than retiring. Anyway, let's keep going because this is the final one. Guess what word has shown up again? How to prevent discontent among players when one player murders. Look at this, man. How many times has this word showed up in these? It's amazing, isn't it? Look at that word. Murderer showed up again. This is just ridiculous. Let's see what this is saying. I recently had an idea for a one-shot game in my own blah blah, where I collaborate with a player to make things more interesting. My plan is to make it look like old-fashioned, already know me, blah blah. Yeah, that's the boring part. Alright. However, I plan to take the party's wizard aside and suggest to him that he plays a fake character. Ooh, look at that. Bit of deception there, some humans like that kind of thing. In reality, he is a powerful and ambitious member of the necromancer cult. See, it's not nice and evil, isn't it? This is what these games do. They love putting evil stuff in there. They love doing a bit of murder. And I'm telling you, these game players, you have to really watch out for them. Because you might think they're just some innocent people having fun, typing on the computer and, their characters just dancing around the screen. No, these are some evil people, man. Believe me. It says, his master suggested to lure in well-known heroes to turn them into powerful minions. Now, you probably don't know what this means. Let me explain. It says lure in. Lure means use deception. Well-known heroes, these are people who are honest, who fight to try to, destroy evil. To turn them into powerful minions. So what a minion means is you just take over their mind as mind control. So this little statement here doesn't seem to mean much, but this is a proper evil thing that he's suggesting here, but in game. Now here's the problem. He's suggesting this in a game. If he had the power to do this in real life, do you think he would do it? This is the thing you have to watch out with these humans, man. Alright, so the wizard likes the idea. Yeah, of course he would. If the wizard is evil, he'd love that kind of nonsense. But in addition, he considers this a great opportunity to yet again, to kill his master so he might lead the cults. See, look at what's going on in these people's minds. And remember, this is a role-playing game. So role-playing game, you have all these evil people in them wanting to do murder. They want to lure people in. They want to do necromancy. And he wants to kill his master. I mean, what is this, man? Seriously. These game-playing people, they're crazy, man. Alright, let's keep going. I plan to give the wizard an item he can use to revive a killed party member as his minion. See, this is mind control. So they're gonna have a mind control zombie. Because that's what he's killed. So if he revives him, but as a minion, that means he's a mind control zombie. I hope that this creates a setup where while the party does a regular dungeon run, the wizard has to balance out weakening and supporting party and cult while he plots to murder one party member to gain an ally. See, this is what I was telling you. You have to murder the party member and then you turn them into a minion to gain an ally. See, this is, you need to understand, this is some proper evil stuff this guy is talking about. And if you didn't understand these words he's using you'd think that to lure in the heroes and turn them into minions doesn't sound like anything. Then murder the one party member to gain an ally. You probably wouldn't understand that either. But no, this is pure evil, what he's describing. This ally would learn what's really going on, thus becoming my second collaborator. So notice the minion now is mind controlled, so now it becomes a collaborator. And guess what that collaborator is going to do? It's going to murder some more party members. Amazing, isn't it? These game players, I'm telling you, mate, you gotta watch out for them. Well, I don't know why I said mate for, because maybe only 2 people will watch this video, but I'm telling you, these people, these game players, you gotta watch out for them. So let's finish this off now. I'd like to let things play out from here. Either the party discovering the plot and killing the wizard, or the wizard killing his master and making the party his puppets. Amazing, isn't it? Are outcomes which are bound to be interesting. See, this guy's calling it interesting. I'm telling you straight up, if this happened in real life, you'd want this, and now I'm gonna start being bad as well. All I can say, now let's say things the proper way. If this guy got to do this in real life, you just want to stay away from him. 100%. Because the amount of evil that he'd be doing is just, you wouldn't even want to know. Especially with things like mind control, because that's some horrible stuff. So, however, I've heard a lot of bad stories about player versus player in pen and paper games. People breaking friendships over murdered characters. Well, yeah, it's because you murdered the character. So, of course you're going to break the friendship. I mean, seriously? And really heated arguments, yes. While there was some player versus player before in groups with these people in them, no one ever got killed, yes. So I suppose this guy's bored because no one got killed. Yeah, amazing, isn't it? How can I prevent players getting angry at each other when it turns out that some are out to kill the group? That's impossible. Because you're a deceiver, an evil deceiver. So they're going to get angry. That's guaranteed. Are my worries unfounded? No, you're some evil guy, mate. Seriously. Or is this the entire adventure a bad idea? There's his answer. He's actually answered his own question. All of this evil we've read from top to bottom. And right at the end, the guy asked, is this entire adventure a bad idea? So now, what we should do is have a poll here. I don't even know if you can put polls up. Maybe I'll see if I can, just to ask people. Is all this evil that this guy's proposing, is this a bad idea? Or should he do it? Well, for me the answer is obvious, but maybe there's a whole heap of other evil people out in the world who might even, say that, he should go for it. But if there's people out in the world who do tell him to go for it, then that just answers my question, which is right at the top of the page. Is it a question? Well, it's not a question, it's a solution. You've got to love humans. Oh, why, God? has to destroy this earth. So now you know, look at the state of these people. These game players are crazy. Given the chance of doing this game stuff in real life, they'd just be chopping us up, man. You just see blood everywhere. So this shows you how bad things are in the game world. And if these game people come out into the real life with their stuff, mate, the place will be done. But okay, let's just end this to show you what's going to happen when these game players finally get their stuff. I wasn't even going to do this, I have to admit. But you might as well. This is what's going to happen. And this is the reason why the Quran is nonsense and why the Bible is the real deal. It's 13, isn't it? So let's see what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the ground, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth, and them that dwell therein, to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed. Look at all these role-playing guys. This is what's going to end up with, that's what they're going to be doing first. Let's see what they're going to do next. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth. Ooh, these role-playing games, they'll be loving this part. They say, finally, our role-playing fantasy nonsense it's real life now, and they'll be all happy. Fire coming from heaven. Amazing. In the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by means of these miracles, yeah, for sure, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had a wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Oh no, that word again, killed. Now imagine that. All these crazy role-playing people, they finally get the chance. Some beast comes along, make fire come down from heaven. They'll think it's role-playing fantasy. It's finally come true. And he can give them powers like they're a wizard or something. And guess what he tells them to do? What the image that he gives life to tells them to do. That anyone who doesn't worship the image of the beast should be killed. Now what do you think these bunch of crazy evil murderers would do when they get the order to kill the people who don't worship the image? Well, that's it really. You know exactly what they're going to do because you can just read it here. So all I can say is these role-playing games are just brainwashing a load of crazy people so that they're ready for when this beast comes along. And one thing's for sure, just like this guy said here about the, where is he saying? Turn them into powerful minions. For sure, that's what this is. So these powerful minions, they're going to be the ones who are doing the killing, isn't that? Well, I'm saying that kind of wrong, but what? They won't be like mind controlled because the people doing the killing, these are going to be people who want to do the killing. But the point I'm trying to make is that this guy's fantasizing about controlling people. Here, this is going to be controlled like real life, and so of course this guy is going to love it, and he's going to jump on the beast immediately because finally now his fantasies in this nonsense game world will have come true into life, and that's why so many people will also be following after what the beast is doing.